Hi, good morning. This is Dmitry, and today, as I'm driving to work, I want to talk to you about my thoughts on Nikon D850, the camera that was just announced last night. Um, Finally announced. I'm a former owner of many Canon cameras. I've had um, cameras, and own cameras such as D700, full frame, just full frames, D700, D600, D610. um, D800 and D750. I did not own um, D810, but I did own D500, which has the autofocus capacity uh, close to that in the newly announced D850. So here are my thoughts. If you are a Nikon owner of a full frame camera other than D4, D5 uh, type, uh, and you want to stay with Nikon, this is a no-brainer. This camera is going to have a prediction of phenomenal image quality, plus other bonuses. Uh, in terms of image quality, my prediction is Canon 5DS and 5D SR. I'm sorry, you're out. Other than age-old discussions of skin tones in Canon versus Nikon, my prediction is the picture quality on this backlit sensor in D850 is going to be above and beyond 5DS, 5DSR. In terms of the cameras, such as Fuji medium frame camera, that remains to be seen. But for Nikon, if you want to stay with Nikon, I think this is a clear path where to go. Now, this is positives. Now, I'm going to talk about some things that Nikon did not do, and some things that mirrorless cameras of today have on Nikon, and something that should be considered. Number one, silent shooting. Silent shooting is still not there. And mirrorless cameras now have these days have silent shooting. Cameras such as A9 have phenomenal silent shooting with up to 20 frames per second and full continuous autofocus. Nikon doesn't have it. Number two, autofocus points. Even though on 850 they increased the spread by 30%, it still doesn't go all the way to the edges. In many mirrorless cameras of today, such as Sony A9 and even Sony A7R2 and A99 Mark II, the autofocus points go wider. They go almost all the way to the sides, and that was a major. It was a major advantage of D500 also, because the autofocus points went all the way to each side, not at the top and bottom, but all the way to the sides, and it was amazingly useful. Unfortunately, with D850, it's not there yet. Maybe the next generation of that camera, perhaps, but for now, no. Next, image stabilization in body. That helps for both video and stills. And Nikon, it's a large body, heavy body. In fact, the weight appears to be increased since D810. Now weighs over a kilo. I'm sure there was a space to put in image stabilization for sensor if they wanted to. Sony did it with the A99 Mark II. Pentax did it. Nikon decided not to do it. Perhaps Nikon did not pay that much attention to video, because from what I'm reading on the D preview, Richard Butler says the video, at least on his pre-production camera, is a disappointment. In terms of while we're talking about video with respect to live view implementation, something similar to Canon dual pixel technology, which helps with autofocus in live view with both video and stills. Nikon doesn't have anything similar to that either. Now, with silent electronic autofocus also comes 132,000 132,000 shutter speed on mirrorless cameras such as Sony and Fuji, which Nikon does not have. Also, the fact that with electronic shutter, your shutter life increases because your shutter is not used as much. But unfortunately, Nikon doesn't have it. So there are many reasons why I might consider mirrorless path these days with highly capable cameras, from Fuji and Sony these days. But in terms of the sheer image quality, I think that particular camera, D850, is going to be simply incredible. Also think that the price is right. Some people on YouTube, like Angry Photographer, predicted a much higher price. I actually knew the price is going to be about the same because Nikon traditionally prices its D800 line about $500 under Canon 5D line. If you recall, when D800 came out in 2012, it was $29.99, while Canon 5D Mark III at the time was $3,500 or $3,600. Just similarly to that, 5D Mark IV was about $3,700-$3,800. So Nikon D850 was priced about $500 cheaper. Another thing that I wanted to point out is the having to buy a grip for 9 frames per second on D850. This is something that I wish Nikon did differently. D850 does allow you to shoot at medium quality of about 26 megapixels. Instead of having people buying a grip to achieve 9 frames per second, why not just allow people to shoot 9-10 frames per second at 26 megapixels? That would have been much easier, and we know that it's possible because Nikon D500 allows you to shoot 10 frames per second and you don't need any grips. So I'm sure it's possible, but I guess it was a marketing decision to make you buy a grip and make you buy an extra battery for another $500, for a total of $500 plus. Sony A9 can shoot 20 frames per second, doesn't need any grips. In any case, if you're a Nikon shooter, you have a full frame Nikon camera and you want to stay Nikon cam, full frame, it's a happy day for you. The camera is not overly crazy expensive. It will have phenomenal picture quality, plus other goodies. So if I was a person who was deeply into Nikon cam today and had something like a D750 or a D800 or even D810, all my cameras would be on the selling block right now, and I would be putting my pre-order for D850 because I'm not currently in Nikon camp. I'm gonna skip this camera, but I'm gonna watch it closely. I do believe the picture quality is gonna be phenomenal. Thank you.